15th District, Mr. Buscaino. Mr. Bonin is over at the Chamber of Commerce at a transportation goods movement meeting over on Beaudry, so he's excused today. Let's take public comment first, since they were here on time. Dan Mariscal? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Dan Mariscal, I represent Engineers and Architects Association, and this is regarding Councilman Bonin's motion dated August 6 regarding the LA Times and LAWA. I would like to supply some supplemental information regarding that. The contract for Parsons, which I will read very briefly, Section 15, in furnishing the services provided for herein, consultant is acting as an independent contractor, is to furnish such services in its own manner and method, and is in no respects to be considered an officer, employee, servant, or agent of the city. I will leave a copy of the contract with Mr. Espinoza. I'm going to name the following employees on the LAWA org chart who are either Parsons employees or closely associated with Parsons. First of all, Lucy Woodard, Deputy Program Manager, according to the org chart regarding performance. Scott Woodard, who reports directly to her, is her husband, and a position was opened up for him called Aesthetics Approval. If you've ever heard of that. Mr. Mark Skirvem, spelled S-K-J-E-R-V-E-M, who is listed as Deputy Program Manager, Implementation, Design / Construction. And Mr. Clay Paisley, who is from Paisley Management Group. All these people are listed as having positions on the LAWA org chart. And our concerns are that our reports receiving from our members and our concerns is that some contractor information or opposing or competing contractors information is being gathered by way of our members to these people, which give them an unfair advantage. The problem with that is that not only is it a conflict of interest, but if it is discovered that it is true that information regarding competing proposers or contracts is being passed, could result in litigation which would negate any savings propounded by LAWA. We ask for this information to be included in the investigation and report of LAWA that's due. Thank you.
Okay, just a technical question, Mr. Mariscal. Have you talked to the Ethics Commission?
No, that's going to be our next stop.
Okay, and you talked to the personnel?
We did talk to, or we did have a presentation in front of the Board of Airport Commissioners. This is one of the stops that we're going to make, and we're also going to...
Very well. If we could file it with the clerk. Thank you so much. Are you related to Mark Mariscal?
No, I've been asked that question before. No.
All right. How about his brother who has a contract over at... I'm kidding. Thank you very much. Good morning. And Mr. Clerk, please forward that to the proper commission as well.
I will,
Ethics
Mr.
Commission, when they said that someone's brother had a sister or some relation. So let's take up, I'm going to hold that because I want you to hear with some of these other items real quick, but you'll be real fast here. Let's start with item 2.
Item number 2 is a report from the Board of Harbor Commissioners relative to an FTZ operating agreement with NNR Global Logistics USA Incorporated for FTZ 202 Site 29.
Alvin Newman, CAO's office. This is the NNR is a new FTZ agreement for 20 years, starting out with 3 5-year options in the city of Carson.
Mr. Bernardo?
Hi, this is Mike DiBernardo with the Port of Los Angeles. Yes, this is a new company that's going to be doing some clothing handling at this facility and also re-exporting, so it's a good thing.
And just for the record, explain what a foreign trade zone is.
Foreign trade zone allows people to import goods into this district, and duties are not paid until the cargo is actually exported out to other areas. So it can either stay in the zone, be manipulated, and then moved out at no cost, or it can be re-exported at no cost as well.
Very good.
So it's a very good program.
And is it the Harbor Department that only run this, or does this run at the airport too?
It's actually a number of entities. There's over 200 of them in the United States.
But who runs these for the city?
Airport.
The airport department, or does the
No.
100% harbor?
The port has its own. Port has its own.
Thank you.
program.
Mr. Buscaino, are you okay with this?
I'm okay with it.
Expedited.
Move
Forward, moved in a second. Next item is item number 3.
Item number 3 is report from the Board of Airport Commissioners relative to the proposed third amendment to concession agreement with SSP America to extend the term covering food and beverage service at LA Ontario International Airport.
What, do I take them all? Go the other side.
Mark Adams, Los Angeles World Airports. This is to extend the agreement under which SSP America operates the Carl's Jr. Franchise there in Terminal 4. It's just for the one site. That's the only site that SSP has.
Right.
License.
And I got a complaint. You mentioned Terminal 4. What's the number of the Tom Bradley terminal? There's no number.
Tom Bradley, first of all, this contract is Ontario. The Tom Bradley terminal does not have a number.
Yeah, someone made a complaint.
We built it between Terminals 3 and Terminal 4, so there wasn't a logical way to number
I don't know. Let's think of a number. What was this?
3.5?
I don't know. 3.5. I don't know what it is. It's something, because everybody goes by numbers now, and it all goes by that. Okay, but that's okay.
I understand.
So, Mr. CAO?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Buscaino. Bill Kreitz of the CAO's office. We have reviewed this, and we recommend approval as well.
Okay, so ordered. And the next items there, could we take them together? 4, 5, 6,
and 7?
7?
Yes, so items number 4, 5, 6, and 7 are reports from the Board of Airport Commissioners relative to contracts with Empire Chemical Company and Unisource Worldwide for cleaning supplies.
4, 5, 6, and 7, thank you.
Morning, Dave Shooter, Deputy Director for Engineering and Maintenance. These 4 items, very similar. They're all janitorial products, and 4 categories of cleaners, degreasers, paper products, plastic products, and janitorial tools called miscellaneous products.
And combine all these together, how much is that value of material?
I didn't add
Would
that
you
up.
guess? But over 2 million?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
18 million approximately.
18 million for toilet paper and everything?
Well, it's over a 3 and/or a 5-year period.
In those 4 categories, there are over 90 line items,
Right.
and each one, bidders can bid on 1 category or 4. We had 14 bidders with 25 bids, so it takes, and every line item has to be evaluated over
Right.
90.
Right, and we watch that closely so no one's doing anything?
We don't run out of toilet paper.
Got it, but I don't, at the same time, we'll make sure they're not taking it home.
Correct.
And Councilman, this is for all 3 airports.
All 3 airports, same
Yes.
contract, good. And CAO's good for it?
Yes, we've reviewed all 4 of these, and we recommend approval as well.
Mr. Chair, if I may, so the last item in these items before us, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, have to do with contracts associated with Ontario Airport, and yet we don't know what the future holds for Ontario Airport. And we have a commissioner before us pending, and I'd like to hear her thoughts on that. But what happens if, in the years to come, if we're within the contract period that we relinquish Ontario Airport? What happens with these contracts?
The
before us?
contracts are written in such a way as not to exceed amounts, so therefore it does not necessitate we would have to spend all of that money if we needed it. It would
Okay.
depend on the number of orders that we would place. It
Got it.
permits us to expend up to.
Very good.
And if we were overstocked at such a time, we'd bring it back to LAX.
Got it. Or Van Nuys.
Or-
And Mr. Buscaino, as well, there's a 30-day termination clause so that
Oh,
a
okay,
party
good.
either party can terminate.
Some sense of
with
security,
a
okay.
30-day written notice.
Very good. I'm good with it, Mr.
Okay, let's move it forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And number 8?
Item number 8 is a motion from council members Labange, Buscaino, and Wesson relative to initiating the process to consider the Port of Jakarta, Indonesia, as a sister port to the Port of Los Angeles.
Hi, Mike DiBernardo again with the Port of Los Angeles. Just to give you a little update on sister ports and how they work. We do have a few sister port agreements out there. A lot of them have to do with environmental initiatives. We talk to different ports and share best practices on environmental, as well as port security and port management as far as leases and so forth. With Jakarta, we do about $7 million worth of trade with them between the Port of LA. And last year, the top 10 imports, we handled about 152,000 TEUs on the import side and about 87,000 on the export side. So the volumes are not huge, but we do have discussions with them. I know Norman from our team has been in discussions with them, and I know the City of Los Angeles is also looking at some opportunities with Jakarta as well. So typically, we look to see if there's any opportunities in those three areas that I mentioned: port management, port security, and environmental, and then we enter into agreements with those countries.
Any questions?
I'm excited about this. Thanks, Mike, for the presentation. So there are some requirements in place when we identify potential.
There are criteria, yes.
There are criteria for Port Sisters. There's enough in the last year and a half I've been here, sitting in this seat. There's a number of other countries, folks at consul generals that have expressed interest, and I want to thank Mr. Labange for putting this before us. Any opportunity we can to form relationships with other ports across the world, I think would be beneficial to all of us involved in the port business. I just move that we move forward on this and support this. On the goods movement, you indicated, what's the number of TEUs?
So on the import side, the top 10 imports, we handled about 152,000 imports from them. And then on the export side, about 87,000.
Do you know off the top of your head on the environmental, any of the ports that we're working with across the world and sharing best practices on the environmental side?
Yeah, we're doing a lot with China.
Okay.
And we have done some stuff with Korea as well. Those volumes are substantially higher than what we see from Jakarta.
Fantastic.
But we do have some discussions, definitely with China as well, and Europe.
Very good.
Hamburg and so forth.
Well, I'm hoping, Mr. Labange, that we can find a sister port in my beloved country, Italy. We need to work on that.
Milano.
Milano, Palermo.
No, Milano's in the mountains. I was kidding.
We have sister city with Ischia. We have sister city with Ischia.
Ischia, absolutely, but a port sister city
Yes.
would be, there's some good movement in Italy we have to work on.
Good. I got you on Milano.
We'll work on that one.
Okay, Mr. DiBernardo,
Yeah.
you're a pretty smart guy, right? So what's in the top 10 countries in the world, do you know where Indonesia is as far as population?
Ranked number 7 for us as far as importance.
Right, it's fourth in population. So there's a field there we could help in exchange, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were there with the sister city, but in Norman Arakawa is an outstanding Los Angeles employee of the Port of Los Angeles.
Yes.
Does a wonderful job. The ambassador to the United States, we went to his home, and he said, thanks for coming, because very few people come. So I think we should look to Indonesia. It's the largest Muslim country in the world. It's the fourth largest country in the world, and there's got to be an opportunity for us and for them as we continue to globalize in what is the vision that was first set forth by Mayor Bradley when they started to talk about the Port of Los Angeles, and Pier 400, and all the things that you've been doing down there. So we thank you. We look forward to it. We thank Norman Arakawa. We thank Dr. Nance and everyone down there, because Los Angeles touches so many places in the world, and this would be another way we could help, just like Los Angeles International Airport does.
Okay.
So thank you.
Steps here.
We go to council, and then you had to go to Jakarta to sign the agreement. Okay.
We'll work on the next steps, and then we'll report back.
But you got
Thank
to
you.
take a freighter there, Joe. You got to get excused. No.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Now, I'm very excited to get to item number 1. We voted yes on that.
Yes.
So item number 8 will be going to council.
You bet.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll have the council general from Indonesia.
Okay, item number 1 is...
Just, Mr. DiBernardo, just before you leave, come up before we get to council on this. You'll represent the port in council. Give us a list of our other sister ports like Hamburg and... I don't have it with me now. I know you don't have it now. I know you don't have it now, but you'll have it when we get to council. Thank you so much. Thank you. Item 1.
Item number 1 is a communication from the mayor relative to the appointment of Ms. Beatrice Su to the Board of Airport Commissioners for the term ending June 30th, 2016.
Hello, P. It's great to see you. We know of you and your husband's commitment and your work as a team, really, for the improvement in Los Angeles. And you've had an opportunity to visit the SU, and this is very exciting time as we transform the airport, modernize the airport. Safety's real big on my agenda, number 1 issue. Tell us a little about your passion and this role that you have.
Thank you. I just want to start by saying it's truly an honor and a privilege to be able to have the opportunity to come back and serve the city again in this capacity. I've been out in the private sector almost 8 years since leaving City Hall, but the city of LA really does continue to feel like my hometown, and it's really great to have the opportunity. I'm really excited about this opportunity in particular. It's clear to me that I have a lot to learn. The issues at the airport are complex and many, and I'm just beginning to start digesting them. But I do think that I'm going to be bringing some interesting perspective, not only from my time here at the city, but also, there's a lot going on in terms of the modernization of LAX that I think I'm going to be bringing a lot of direct experience from my current role as a developer of major urban real estate projects. So I'm excited to get involved in that. I'm also really interested and passionate about LAX as a vehicle for economic development in the city of LA and in the region. My family comes from Taiwan, and I know LAX to be the front door of the city and the region and even to the country for a lot of Asia, and I think there's a lot of potential there. Excited to contribute to that. Another topic I think that I'm very interested in getting involved in is the really as somebody who is passionate about sustainable growth and city building, a way to make transit ridership a true option to and from the airport, both for locals and visitors. So there's all these things going on. I have a lot to learn to really digest the issues and figure out how to make a true contribution, but I'm eager to do so.
Thanks, Bea, for your commitment to serve, and I want to thank Mayor Garcetti for continuing to put the right people in place here, and specifically in our airport commission. I think I'll take a line of Mr. Bond. He's the best and brightest that we've seen. Tell me your thoughts on regionalization, specifically on how we deal with the issue of Ontario and where the state of Ontario today. I know you're digesting all this as you indicated, but I'm sure you've seen the headlines and you've seen the concerns that have been raised from the city of Ontario, and just want to get your ideas on that.
Yeah, so certainly this is an issue where I have not studied in depth enough to have a fully informed position about what the exact right solution is. I do understand, it needs to be a priority what the solution is. As an aside, my family is from Claremont and lives there in Inland Empire, so I totally understand the concerns of the residents and local stakeholders. To me, I would like to learn more and really evaluate the pros and cons of the various solutions, both in terms of what they mean to the city economically, and also to what really the best solution is for meaningful regionalization and to create a thriving network of regional airports.
Makes sense. And the expansion versus modernization of the airport, a hot top issue as well. I feel that we need to make the airport more competitive and ensuring that, when we rely heavily on our tourism dollars and TOT tax dollars, we need to make sure our airplanes land here in LAX. Give me your thoughts on the whole issue of expansion and modernizing and including and making sure that our airport becomes a world-class airport.
Absolutely. This is also an area where there are a lot of complex issues I have not fully digested. I understand that there are the vast majority of the improvements that are proposed have broad consensus, and that the mayor and the councilmen continue to have concerns over, in particular, the runway relocation. I think I bring a lot of relevant experience, having worked on major urban real estate development projects. You have to make sure that you define and hold true to what's really fundamental to your needs to compete in the marketplace, and at the same time make sure that you are understanding and addressing the concerns of your immediate community and neighborhood. So I don't have a firm position on that, but I really look forward to studying the issues and becoming more informed.
Great. Thanks, Bea. Do you have my support?
Yeah, I just look at those issues. Your background is tremendous. When we built the airport out there, it was an old airport. It was prop planes, and then all of a sudden it grew. The impacts from noise is a big deal. The impacts from traffic is a big deal. The development of the Century Freeway transformed the southern end of the airport. What it used to have just charter flights, now there's a lot of commerce there. Bellies of planes now if you look at the bottom line in your Lufthansa or British Air, you say, okay, we had 283 passengers in the planes, but we also had, $300,000 worth of shipping goods or whatever in the belly of the planes. A lot of stuff gets shipped internationally now through the belly of planes. So look at that all together. I believe in high-speed rail. I think the Green Line should be high-speed rail through the Inland Empire and out. If Ontario reaches a dollar price that pays the cost of what Los Angeles has put out the last 40 years plus, let's go that way. I can understand local control, but the business community usually drives a airport for a region, and Los Angeles business has more opportunity than the Inland Empire at this time, and I would hope the Inland Empire could get their wish so they could deal with it. They're also competing with Palm Springs, which is an hour down the road, and et cetera, et cetera. So you'll learn all about that. Will be fascinating. Safety is the number one for me, and my decision to move the runway was purely based on safety, with the knowledge that implements a sound reduction in the future as new aircraft is built and old is replaced. So the mayor couldn't have a better person, and we thank you. And are you in council today?
Yes.
Good, so we'll see you in an hour.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vote approval. That completes our agenda, Mr. Clerk. And I want to thank the CAO for your help, CLA. I do that every time just to make it fair. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. I'm sorry.